Hello, ladies and gentlemen. NanMan here with my next StarCraft 2 cast, and this is actually game number 2 in the best of 3, basically, group stages from the ONOG Invitational. If you missed game number 1, be sure to click anywhere on the screen. As you can see, of course, NrGLuckyFool did take that game, but that's okay. You can still go in and watch a very exciting TvT to start things off. Of course, game number 2, we're going to be going into MLG Antigua Shipyard. Now, let's introduce players, of course, spawning up here in the upper right-hand side. It is our red Terran player from the team Quantic Gaming. It is, of course, QuanticFlo, one of the few top-tier professional StarCraft 2 female players out there. And she's won quite a few of those female tournaments, has placed pretty highly in some of those other major tournaments, like of course, there's lots of the female tournaments out there that she's done first, second, and things of that nature. Of course, if you are interested in seeing a little bit more about her, like if you enjoy her play and want to watch her stream, you can check out the links below on my YouTube page here. It does, of course, on the video, it does have links to the players, their teams, all that good stuff. Of course, let's introduce her opponent spawning in that cross spawn location, the blue Terran for Team Energy. Of course, it is NrGLuckyFool. Now, a lot of you guys might know him. He is quite active in the community, does host some LAN events in the DC area, and does quite well. Has participated in MLGs, done some of those Team Liquid Opens, things of that nature. Of course, the same thing goes for NrGLuckyFool, like Flo. You can check out links to both of their streams and their team pages in the description below. Now, it looks like we're going to be seeing NrGLuckyFool open up with that Barracks Refinery. Back on over on Flo's side, she will be going for that Barracks first, and maybe it'll be another fast expand build from Flo. I mean, this is a map that is very similar to Shkur's Plateau here. See that Barracks finishing up, Orbital Command being started. Now, because the natural right here, as you can see, right below your ramp, and it's pretty easy to screw. You throw one bunker there on the high ground, throw your Marines are already rallied there. It shouldn't be too much of an issue. We already see that Marine will be popping out and being able to target down that SUV. He does get in here and goes, okay, there are no refineries taken yet. Already going to just start actually wailing away on that command center. Will be taken out now by this Marine. Ooh, actually goes to hide in the smoke for a little bit. Do some bobbing and weaving here, just trying to be as obnoxious as possible. What will be taken out here. And we do see there's that command center getting thrown down now for Flo. But we're going to be seeing NrGLuckyFool go for actually a Reaper opening here. Of course, we did see that Flo was able to pop in here and see that there was that tech lab on that barracks right away. So she has to know that, okay, this is looking like it's going to be a Reaper expand now. Reaper will be coming out and jumping down onto the natural expansion here. We just see, of course, there goes that command center for NrGLuckyFool. And basically just scouting around, making sure that SCV is gone, and will be making his way across the map. Of course, there is, of course, the watchtower taken still by this one SCV, so you will be able to at least have a good idea of the center of the map here to be able to know exactly what his opponent is up to. Now, Reaper will be making his way across. Marine already positioned here in the smoke to basically watch for that Reaper coming across. We do see the second Marine already going to be rallied on over there with that one, and 2 at the National. Now, the problem is these 2 still won't be able to beat this one Reaper. Sure, they could do a lot of damage to it, but unless he gets more of those Marines there, it's not going to be too much of an issue. And it's also going to depend on how many more Reapers we see NrGLuckyFool make. He already has 2 on the field, has a 3rd one rallied up, and getting that combat shield. So we'll be going for a bio-oriented play this time. Both players opted for like a bio mech play with going for those Marine siege tank style. We'll see if they mix it up this time. Both going to be going for a more economic style of play here, and just kind of going to be adding on that tech lab and getting a lot of Marines basically produced now. Of course, getting both of her refineries, only mining with 1 SCV from both right now. So going for not so much of a tech-oriented play as of yet. Will be getting enough gas to be hopefully getting that stim or combat shield first. Looks like going to be throwing those couple of SCVs into both geysers now. But at the same time, we do see those Reapers. All 3 of them want to try to find a way up into the base here. And it's going to be tough because if they jump up on this path right here, they will be actually shot by these Marines. And scan comes down, and nice actually play from NrGLuckyFool. Does scan, allowing him to get vision up into the high ground, and will be able to chase down and clean up those Marines. And now these SCVs are basically free for the picking. She will pull them all off, just kind of buying time until these Marines can get over here. But ooh, Reaper's already getting quite a lot of kills. Got another SCV in the process, and will be trying to jump on out of there. And oh, does get away with both of these Reapers here, one with 4 kills and the other with 3. So very nice play here, taking out not too bad here, killing off 3 of those SCVs and a handful of Marines in the process. So hurting Flo economically by making her pull all these SCVs off and basically lowering her army count there. So very cool play from NrGLuckyFool to get that expand behind this. He's also got that, I'm sorry, Flo also has that combat shield on the way. Going to be adding a reactor now onto this barracks and really just going to continue up with that mass Marine production. Back on over on NrGLuckyFool side, we do see he's got that bunker, has combat shield finished, and just now starting stim and that +1 infantry weapons. Adding on a factory of his own now, so both players will be getting a starport a little bit after this, so they can start to get those medevacs. Looks like Marines will run out here and will take out at least one Reaper. The other one will be able to escape just barely there. And he'll actually be able to go back and reinforce with this bunker and Marines and be in a very nice defensive position that there's no way that Flo will be able to bust up this ramp right now. We'll see if she just decides to send one, and she will just pop up here and get an idea. Okay, there is that one bunker there, and realize, okay, I really should back off. This is not somewhere I should engage unless I get my upgrades, unless I can have some more support. Does get a nice scan off just to check what exactly your opponent is up to. Does see that reactor going down on the factory and starport being added in as well. Now the question is going to be, when will these players opt to go for a third base? Is it going to be a quick third base, or will they be opting for, you know, a little bit more of army supply for a while? Are they going to try to cut corners or not? That's going to be the thing to keep an eye out. We do see, of course, stim on the way now for Flo. Already did that swaparoo with that starport, and we'll be able to double produce those medevacs now. Back on over on NrGLuckyFool side, we do see his starport a little bit later than Flo, so he's going to have a little bit of a delayed amount of medevacs, but he still has a lot of Marines. If we check out that unit counting station, we can see 27 Marines compared to the 22 of Flo, but income-wise, we can see a little bit of a difference here. Flo is quite far ahead, already has 10 more SCVs than her opponent, and mules will play a factor in this, of course, trying to keep each other up. We can see it looks like NrGLuckyFool just dropped quite a bit of mules to catch up for a bit there, and looks like Flo wants to move out again. She's at 85 supply compared to the 77 of her opponent, and we'll be moving forward here. Does have those 2 medevacs and will be able to go for drop play, but NrGLuckyFool being very, very smart about this, realizing, okay, you know, timing wise, my medevacs are almost out, so there's a possibility that yours should be already out now, and you could go for a drop. So he's going to have these Marines located in the main base here just to be on the safe side. Also has some outside of his main base, and scan comes down from Flo, sees that army is moving out, but look at this. Very nice reaction of NrGLuckyFool. Already going to be getting an idea of what's going on. And stim comes out, takes out that Reaper very quickly, and we'll have to fall back to these medevac. Now we see NrGLuckyFool has quite a lot of Marines here, and stim again from Flo. We'll try to pick off a couple more of these Marines and tries to run away with these medevacs at least. And NrGLuckyFool's just going to keep pushing forward here. He's at 84 supply right now, sitting at +1/+0 compared to the 0 Marines of Flo. Another sensor tower has come up, basically to keep an eye on any drops that might try to come into that main base. We see that +1 armor coming out, +1 weapons just now finished up for Flo. NrGLuckyFool going to come over here, stim, send this Marine in there, sees that there is at least a siege tank there, and realizes, alright, that's not somewhere I really want to bust up. He could go for a drop play, load up 1 medevac, go into the main base, and then try to push the natural or something crazy like that, but looks like he's just going to be content hanging out outside of Flo's base, and oh, nope, going for that double drop here. Scan, see there's only a handful of Marines here, and we'll just kind of go in and just drop on top of them. Of course, those Marines trying to target down at least one of those medevacs, and nice reaction time from NrGLuckyFool. Does pull that back, and these Marines can now start wrecking havoc inside the main base, but here comes a stim from Flo, going to chase these Marines out of there. 2 of them left to die, sadly. Of course, very nice defense from Flo, able to basically secure her main base again. Now looks like siege tank going to be moving on back and reinforcing up at that natural. We see a third base going to be coming down, as well as more production facilities, adding on another barracks behind this, and looks like there's that other command center for NrGLuckyFool. So we'll be going for a third base as well, and both players going to be opting for that Marine siege tank style of play. Now we do see, of course, that Flo will be ahead in that siege tank production. Of course, NrGLuckyFool still has not even started that 1 siege mode or getting a lot of siege tanks out, and it's like Flo's going to start pushing her way forward here. Wants to actually secure that center, and so she can get those siege tank up there and be in a very nice position. Wants to just try and put the pressure back on NrGLuckyFool for a bit, but NrGLuckyFool sends in a lot more Marines over here, And I mean, if these siege tanks get in good position, she could be able to start sieging up there, but it looks like, ooh, gotta be very careful.
Upgrade complete.
And LuckyFool's just content being on hold position here, realizing if you don't have those siege tanks with your army, those Marines are not going to be able to beat mine. We do see that LuckyFool has fallen behind in supply right now at 119 compared to the 121 of his opponent here. And both players are going to be trying to take this third base now and basically push their way forward here and try to apply pressure to each other's base and try to prevent that third base from going up. And Siege Tank getting a little bit closer here on the low ground. Siege Tank number 1 has just now been added on to LuckyFool's army. And it looks like he's just going to loop around the left-hand side. Flo going to be running in, trying to chase down these army. And, oh, almost gets that Siege Tank. Does end up pulling back here. And Siege Tank still in a pretty good position. Will be able to get at least one shot off on a couple of these Marines. We'll get a second one, but these units could easily take out these rocks and maybe go for a little bit of a flanking maneuver here. We'll have to wait and see. More Marines going to be rallied in here. And Marines battling out over control of that center. Looks like you do see those 2-1 Marines going to be able to take out the center. Now basically both players just kind of battling out here, trying to find a good position to engage and not allowing these siege tanks to basically start to engage on each other. LuckyFool still doesn't really have any siege tanks mixed in. He's got this one, but has not sieged up. Siege mode just now starting. Looks like he did forget siege mode for a while he was busy trying to micro in the center of the map here. And looks like Flo is able to actually take control of the center here now. Notices that those army is now retreating for LuckyFool. Looks like he's just going to fall back a little bit and secure that third base. So you see orbitals coming up. And boom, there goes Flo's going to be lifting on over. And economically, we do see she's just getting further and further ahead right now, sitting at 61 supply compared to the 49 of her opponent, harvester-wise, and sieging up in a very good position. The one siege tank going to miss the memo to go around. Just going to siege up right there. It's like, wow, quite a strong force. Getting that +3 weapons, and oh, here comes LuckyFool, going to catch, and actually a very nice angle, taking out most of the Marine siege tanks, though, in a very good spread. Will be able to clean up a lot of these units if they get too close here, and it looks like LuckyFool is just going to keep moving his way forward, try to pick off as many units as he can, but realizes that he has to fall back in this position with those siege tanks on the high ground there. Not a very good place to engage, but it looks like Flo really is not able to keep up with that Bioforce right now. She is producing a lot of Marines at a time, has quite a few reactors mixed in there, and even getting another one added on here, but still getting those double production of siege tanks. So she is in actually a really good position here. We'll start sieging on the low ground by LuckyFool's production. Going to start dropping in some Marines. Now she's got to be very careful of this. Looks like LuckyFool has half of his force very much so out of position here. I don't know what they're doing over on that left-hand side. Looks like he's just going to lift them up and drop on over here. And siege tank will be able to help get in a nice defensive position for LuckyFool. Luckily, all of his buildings are at least far enough back from these siege tanks, so he won't be able to do too much damage with this. He could try to poke one up a little bit further, but the problem is you also see that siege tanks are now getting in good positions for LuckyFool, and it looks like this position for Flo is not going to be able to do too much. She's going to have to back on up and try to get back at least over to that watchtower. Maybe trying to poke up at the third base at the same time. Looks like she is going to start to swing around for that third base now. Does scan and see, okay, really not that many units here. Going to reposition those siege tanks, and LuckyFool starts to reposition over at this third base. I'd like to see at least one tank get up on the high ground here for LuckyFool. And upgrade-wise, you do see 2-2 for those Marines compared to the 2-2 for Flo. She is about to have that +3 and will be at least ahead upgrade-wise compared to now LuckyFool's. Siege tanks really don't have any upgrades for both players yet. And, oh, nice. One lone Viking here going to start cleaning up and getting a little bit more air control for Flo. And, oh, siege tanks caught, unsieged. Will actually have those Marines run in and be able to clean up quite a lot, but it looks like Flo will be able to come out on top in this engagement and be able to clean up basically most of the vials. Still, this one siege tank here will be able to start doing a lot of damage there. And drop going to come in right on top of these siege tanks. And, oh, matter of fact, does get cleaned up, but the siege tank getting a good amount of kills here. So Flo is still just rallying forces across as 13 Marines being produced at once, adding on a 4th command center behind this. But right now, she's actually looking in a commanding lead sitting here. QuanticFlo is at 140 supply compared to the 131 of her opponent here, and getting that +3 infantry attack. LuckyFool is going to start getting those siege tanks in better position here. Sharpler rocks have been taken out now for Flo, and oh, one lone siege tank on the high ground going to do a good amount of damage. I would have liked to have seen that been sieged up, but that's really not too big of a deal here. And Siege Tank Blast going down a lot of those Marines, and it looks like LuckyFool will be in a pretty good defensive position, able to start sieging up on these couple of Marines here. And ooh, lone Siege Tank on the low ground there does get cleaned up, and Flo's just going to start backing up, at least further back into the rest of her forces here. She's got to be very careful, though, about these exchanges, because LuckyFool is going to start to basically creep his way forward here. The more Siege Tanks he's able to snipe out, and getting that +3/+3, still producing, both people are producing 2 Siege Tanks at a time. But we do notice that Flo's starting to fall a little bit further behind in that, of course, Marine production right now. We'll be making an orbital command here at this mineral patch here. As you notice, it is blue minerals. It is no longer gold mineral patch for the GSL or MLG version of this. And nice, even throwing down a missile turret to basically help secure this area from these medevacs. And double drop coming along the left-hand side, because LuckyFool basically knows, alright, if I have these Siege Tank line in a very good position, I should be able to hold off any pressure that Flo tries to go, and I will be able to do good damage with this drop. But looks like Flo losing a couple of units for free here, does have the Siege Tanks in a pretty nice position. I'd like to see maybe 1 or 2 slowly inch their way forward here, but she's got to be very careful. This base could become quite vulnerable, and drop now coming out at the third base of Flo, going to take out that Sense Tower, forcing that command center to lift up, so Marine's able to basically halt mining there. Very nice play, and more Marines just going to be rallied on over here. She's going to have to do something to deal with this. Got to start repairing this command center. Does not want that to go down at this point, and oh, no, repair, and Marines are going to stim up here and try to engage this. Medevacs are going to help out a lot in this fight here, even though the upgrades are superior for Flo in this sense at 3-2 compared to the, of course, 2-2 of LuckyFool's. But those Medevacs healing those Marines make things so much easier. They finally will be cleaned up, and we will see this expansion be able to get dropped down again. LuckyFool, though, has pulled ahead in that supply lead now at 159 compared to 138 of Flo. She does still have control of that center, but that is a lot of Siege Tanks for LuckyFool. Looking at that supply right now, we see, of course, 13 Siege Tanks compared to the 8 Siege Tanks of Flo, being doing a nice job from Flo there, able to pick off a couple more of those couple of units there. And oh, looks like LuckyFool will be going around for a little bit of engagement, sieging up at that mineral patch here. Marines in a very nice position, takes out that command center here, and looks like Flo's going to be forced back off. Siege Tank's still in a good position, but LuckyFool is ahead supply-wise right now. Marines picking off a couple of those SCVs, and got to be careful, going to lose some more Marines. More Siege Tanks being picked off, and just basically rallying of Marines coming across the map. More Siege Tanks coming out here, and Marines able to clean up a lot of SCVs for free. He's got to get in there and be able to deal with this. We do see she will be able to clean up those couple of Marines, but at this point, she is not opted for any drops. Just going to unsiege and look like move her way forward here. That one Viking does see that Flo is going to be moving out, but now she's stuck in a little bit of an awkward position, a little bit of a sandwich position here, where Siege Tanks and Marines from both sides could start to inch their way forward and basically get a nice constricting motion here on Flo's force. So we do see Flo still hanging on here, has Siege Tanks on the high ground, more Marines rallying in here, but that one lone Viking going to be actually very, very helpful. Looks like LuckyFool did opt to switch over from medevac production into that Viking to help get a little bit more basically air control, and going for that double-pronged attack now, going from the flank here, cleaning up those forces on the low ground. Siege Tanks on the over here on the top will be able to clean up most of Flo's forces, and Flo drops down to 113 supply and taps out with a GG. LuckyFool does a very nice job basically coming back from being behind most of the game to hold on with very strong defense and do a very effective drop to just kind of pull Flo's attention elsewhere, while he was able to group up and really be able to come back and do nice engagements at the end. So very exciting TvTs between both these two players. Seeing a nice basically display of that Marine Siege Tank style. I really like that LuckyFool opted for basically his last two medevacs that he had. He was like, you know what, I'm not really going to be using more medevacs. I'm going to transition into that Viking. I'm going to load up and just try to do a drop. I mean, you have control of the center. You're trying to at least keep that there. You're trying to get a base up there. You're trying to at least push up, apply pressure on me. So your basically attention is in the center of the map. Your attention's not back at your bases. So I should be able to at least do some sort of damage. And it was really smart not to go for the main base with that drop. I mean, with the production right there, it does help to be able to take out the production and disrupt it. But because all these units are popping out, she could have grabbed them and be able to help defend the drop easier than over here. So, of course, so many SCVs over here. But very nice play between both players, showing some really interesting TvT. So, of course, if you guys enjoy my casting throughout any of these games, be sure to hit that subscribe button over on my YouTube channel. Of course, youtube.com/NanMan. I do put up lots of casts each week. And, of course, if you have any interest in learning a little bit more about these players, like the teams they're on, if you enjoy their play style and want to watch their streams, you can check out all that links in the description below on the YouTube channel. So, of course, thank you guys for tuning in and watching, and I hope to see you guys next game.